For most of the season, camping equals mosquitoes. So to be comfortable, especially when it is time to sleep on a hot summer night, we have made many mosquito screens for the very small camper van. These ones for the front windows are a fail, but we'll get to that soon. The top and sides of the window frame are mostly metal except for this part here, so I've added a strip of metal with some 3M tape. That part has held up, but the main problem was trying to use the type of magnet that comes in a roll. The logic was that I would want a continuous seal to keep the little critters out, but the problem was that the magnets I got were not all that strong. I made a template for the front window and added a pocket of fabric all around to insert the magnet strips in. But the layer of fabric prevented them from attaching to the metal of the window frame, so I had to take them out and glue them to the outside of the edging with rubber cement. They were okay last summer, a bit finicky to install, but okay. So over the winter I decided to add a small rare earth magnet between each strip to make them stick better. Then, the first trip this year, one screen fell down in the night, leaving the window open for the mosquitoes. Another problem was using this weighted cord for the bottom. It doesn't work the way I expected, so if we wanted to leave the windows completely open, we would have to tuck the screen into the window edge down here. So all in all, it's pretty much back to the drawing board for these screens. This one covers the side door opening and has already proved to be a lovely addition, allowing us to have the door open in the evening or even all night depending on the camping spot. The screen is pulled tight across the rubber door seal, which helps keep the bugs out. For this one I used 1/2-inch rare earth magnets, spaced about every 8 to 10 inches. The screen doesn't interfere with closing the door, although sometimes the magnets jump from the frame to the door and have to be put back in place. The bottom piece is just a flap of outdoor fabric that lies flat on the doorstep. It doesn't open or close, but I just made the one, and we can go in and out the other side door. I did a full video of the making of this screen, and the link is in the description and up in the corner. The screens for the back row windows are another design that worked out better than I imagined. A small strip of Velcro closes it around the latch of the window, and the outside edge has paracord inserted in it, and this keeps it tight when it's poked into the gap between the rubber window gasket and the interior around the window. The pattern for the screen was based on the 3-dimensional shape of the open window, so the screen can stay in place as the window is opened or closed. They can stay in all the time, but they can also be pulled out in about 2 seconds. They're super discreet from outside and don't block the view from inside. I'll put a link in the description to the full video for making these screens too. This is an improved version of the very first mosquito screen I made for the prototype van. Whenever we're using the kitchen, the liftgate is open, and the van can quickly fill with bugs if it doesn't have a screen. What I made is a long curtain that tucks down behind the kitchen boxes and around the back of the ears at the side. The shape of the top edge matches the shape of the van's ceiling, the same as the insulated curtain I made earlier, so it hangs smoothly. The first one was held up with clips, but this one uses the same edging technology as the back windows, and just pokes into the gap between the plastic and the headliner. The main improvement is that the curtain is in 2 pieces, so it's easier to roll up and to reach through when needed. It's not sealed all around like the back windows, but there is enough screen to make it hard for the bugs to get past it. And also this part would never be left open while we're sleeping. In a previous video I showed how the awning was made, but I didn't mention that the most useful thing the awning does is to hold up the screen room. The screen room started life as a king-size bed canopy from Amazon, but bear in mind it's not quite like in the pictures. The sewing lines and loops in the pictures look like they're reinforced, but were actually just doubled over netting and pretty weak. The canopy has gone through lots of modifications, so many modifications that I might as well have started from scratch. It sets up quickly, which is good if you're being attacked by mosquitoes while you're doing it. I made elastic cord loops for the corners, some with clips that attach to rings on the awning, and other corners that just loop over the ends of the poles. The first year I had Velcro strips for attaching it to the side poles, but I switched them this winter for these camping pole clips. I had to enlarge the clips to get them to fit on the larger outer section of the poles, but they're so much better than the Velcro, which kept catching on the netting. I still have Velcro loops where I secure it to the upright poles, but I plan to order more clips and change them too. I also plan to add strips of waterproof fabric along the bottom edge, so that the screen doesn't touch the ground and pick up twigs and dirt. The openings on the original canopy were just wide overlaps, which would be fine in a bedroom, but were just comical outside in the wind. So one of the first things I did was to sew the side flaps shut and to add long zippers to the front and back. One flaw, which can't be overcome, is that the mesh has bigger holes than the no-seam netting I used for the other screens, so tiny black flies can get in sometimes. Opening the inside zipper gives us access to the van without going outside. We have room to set up our camping chairs and a folding table. And if the weather or bugs are really bad, we can even bring our butane stove inside, being careful to keep things away from the walls. Overall, it has made a huge difference in our camping experiences, especially in the early summer months, as it allows us to be sitting outside, rain or shine, without the bugs bothering us. Now let me quickly show you what I did to enlarge the clips. The biggest ones I could find were made for poles 10 to 13 millimeters in diameter, which was fine for the inner section of the poles, but too tight for the outer sections. I heated the clips with a heat gun until the surface started to look wet. Then quickly, before they could cool, opened them up and cooled them in a bowl of cold water. Be careful when working with the hot plastic, as it can burn your fingers. And remember, they just need to be a little bit bigger because you still want them to grip the poles. Now the fit is just right. So thanks for watching and have a good day.